Leicester City are your new leaders over in the Championship, of course, and this weekend they're taking on my very own Blackburn bloody Rovers. Who's going to come out on top? We're going to take a little look next. Right, folks, Bob's giving another prediction video. Today, we're taking a look at Ashley number 9, of course, over in the Championship. We'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're chewing, smash the old subscribe, keep your back up to all things Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We got it all here, boys, under one Rooski. That's right. Can, of course, the likes of Ipswich, Preston, or even Hull challenge leaders this coming weekend. We're going to take a look at all of it in a second, of course. Big shout out to the VIPs. You know who you are. That's, of course, the patrons, of course. So anyway, let's get into it. Of course, have a little look how I got on, how you guys got on, and of course, the previous couple of matches, well, previous matches, should we say, over the Championship. So let's get into it then, of course, recap, turn the clock back, that's right. So here are the results, here are my picks as well. It's a little bit small, isn't it? That's what she said. So let's see if we can make it a little bit bigger. Just make it a little bit bigger. Just a wee bit bigger. How about that? Maybe that will do. Yes, indeed. So coming at you, Birmingham City and QPR, 2-2 win was my pick. It was a 0-0 draw in the end. Borough did pick up a 2-1 win over Southampton. I went with the 1-1 draw myself. Of course, Ipswich did beat Rovers 4-3. I went with the 1-1 draw there myself. Not great as well. Meanwhile, Leeds, 2-0 win was my pick. 3-0 it was in the end. Leicester City, 3-0 winners was my pick. They did come out with a 1-0 win in the end. 6-2 win it was. Plymouth Argyle over Norwich. I went with the 1-2 win. 2-1 win, sorry, for Norwich. So got their goals right, but didn't get the Plymouth onslaught. Meanwhile, Rotherham 0, Preston North End 0. I went with the 1-1. Actually, it was a 1-1 draw. I went with the 0-0. Swansea City picked up a 3-0 win over Wednesday. I went the other way. And meanwhile, West Brom 0-0 draw with Millwall. I went with a 3-1 win myself. Stoke got a bit of a tonking, didn't they, at home to Hull City. 3-1 was the final score. 2-1 win for me. Sunderland 1-0 loss to Cardiff. I went with a 3-0 win. And Coventry could only muster a draw against Huddersfield. Lastsecond.com equaliser there for Huddersfield Town. So while we just punch in the numbers, of course, for the Super Brew, of course, let's take a little look then at the old table then, shall we, for the Championship. So let's get into it, of course, recapping. There they go. Leicester City are top with 21 points, 11 on points with Ipswich, with Preston North End also within touching distance. Hull City, Sunderland and Leeds are in the playoffs. And then, of course, you got the likes of Cardiff, Norwich and Bristol City in the mixer there. Middlesbrough, Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday going down. Rovers in 14th, not great, but a win away from 5th. How'd you like those apples then? Of course, not too shabby. We do have the prediction league is wide open. And of course, let's see how you and I got on this time around then, shall we? So let's get into the old deep end and have a look at, of course, the Super Brew coming at you right here, right now, in all its HD glory. So what have I done there? What have I done there? We want that one over there like that. So here we go. Here is the Super Brew. And of course, let's take a little look. And of course, the round results. So not great for me. I've already seen Tim Stepp, 11.5 points on the board right here, right now. James OFC is up there with 11.60. Oh, yeah, there were 10.5. Well done to her. Lewis Holt with, of course, 10 points as well. Sandus, Turkish Delight. And of course, the Chasing Pack. Me. Ooh, scary. It's scary. Let's go down the below because I think I'm down. There I am on 4 points. Level on points with Shepherd and Jacob Ward, of course. Philly Rovers with 4.5. So what's that done to the overall table? Well, let's take a little look at it then, shall we? Here is the overall table. 77 running away with it. 91.5. Frosty's up there, of course. Down 1 to number 2. Raymond Reddington up 2 to number 4. Of course, me. 37th right now. Not great. I'm down 1 spot, of course, but it is, again, like I said, it's a marathon, not a sprint, of course. So we'll be back. We'll be into the thick of things. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'm not scared. Are you? Well, you should be, because I'm coming at you, of course, in the back end of this one. Into the month of October we go now with these games. Of course, actually, this is the last game of September, technically. So get your resume out for a manager and player of the month, of course. So these are the games, of course. So let's get into them. one by one, starting with, of course, Bristol City up against Stoke City, of course, coming at you on Saturday, 30th of September. Played each other 17 times, these two sides. 9 wins for Bristol City, 6 wins for Stoke. Got 2 draws, of course. Biggest win for Bristol City, 2-0 win. They scored 20 goals in those 17 matches. Works out about 1.18 goals a game. Stoke, though, on the flip side, 3-0 win, their biggest. 16 goals in 17 matches, 0.94 goals a game. 25% form for Stoke at the minute, 20 for the table, 7 points on the board, just 1 win in 6. They're in a bit of trouble right now, Stoke. Up against Bristol City, though, they're on 50% form for them. 1-2 lost to and drawn to. 9 for the table with 12 points on the board. Last time around, at Thrashton Gate, it was a 2-1 win for Stoke back in December 2022. Of course, and as of recording, Stoke are against Bournemouth. That's, of course, today or Wednesday, whenever this video goes out. But they're up against Bournemouth. They're expected to lose that one. It's actually back-to-back away games for them. Look at the odds for here. 11-8 is your Bristol City. 2-1 is your Stoke. 9-4 is the draw. Gonna go with a 0-0 here. Boring draw. Not really going to give any hope for Stoke, but a point in the bag for Bristol City. None the same. Next up we have Cardiff. Up against Rotherham, of course. Cardiff in action as well against Rovers this week. Played each other 15 times, these two sides. 8 wins to Cardiff, 2 wins to Rotherham. And we've got 5 draws, of course. Cardiff, red hot form right now, winning 5 of the last 6. 83% form for them. They are 7th in the table, 13 points on the board. However, their biggest win over Rotherham was a 5-0 win, scoring 27 goals in the 15 games. It's 1.80 goals game ratio. Rotherham on the flip side, 2-1 win was their biggest. 15 goals scored in the 15 matches. That's goal a game. Of course, 25% form for them. Heading into this, just 1 win and 6. They are 23rd of the table with just 5 points on the board. Last time around in Wales, it was 1 win for Cardiff back in October 2022. Cardiff unbeaten against Rotherham over the last 4, pick up 3 wins and a draw to boot. Like I said, Rovers up against Cardiff, of course. Rotherham have got all week to plan this game, so they should be fit as a daisy for this one. 10-7 on is your Cardiff, 11-4 is your draw, 4-1 is your away win. We're back in Cardiff again to win this one. Hopefully they have a shitter in the cup, but of course winning in the league is all that important. Of course, Leeds go to Southampton, but in one of the zingers here. Early kickoff at St Mary's is coming at your weekend. 37 times they played each other since 1993. We've got 11 wins to Southampton, 18 wins to Leeds United, and we've got 8 draws, of course. 3-0 win, the biggest for Southampton in the minute. 30 goals scored in the 37 games. 0.81 goals a game ratio. Up against Leeds, of course, their biggest win. 3-0 win also, scoring 47 goals, though, in the 37 matches. That's 1.27 goals a game. Leeds, with Daniel Farker at the helm, just 1 defeat the past 6. 67% form for them. They are 6th in the table with 13 points on the board. Meanwhile, Russell Martin's Southampton are 15th with 10 points on the board. 4 defeats on the spin. Grim times for them. Last round, over at St Mary's was a 2-2 draw. Southampton back-to-back wins over Leeds at St Mary's. Of course, the cup. Let's take a look at the cup. Are they both... Oh, what's gone on here? None of them are in the cup no more. They're out. Of course, 21-10 is your Southampton. 12-5 is the draw. 6-5 is your away win here. We are going to go with a draw here, which, again, don't know if it's going to do enough to say Frosty. When I say Frosty, I mean Russell Martin, Russell Frosty Martin's job, of course. 1-1 in the end for me on this one. Watford up against Middlesbrough. Coming at Vicarage Road, of course. That's at 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday, 30th of September. Played each other 26 times in 1993. We've got 11 wins for Watford, 7 wins for Middlesbrough, and we've got 8 draws, of course. Biggest win for Watford, 2-0 win. Scored 31 goals in those 26 matches. That's 1.19 goals a game. Under pressure, Michael Carrick, who is actually unbeaten in the last 3 matches now. 4-1 win was their biggest. That's Middlesbrough over Watford, scoring 28 goals in the 28 games. That's 1.08 goals a game. Going back to his form, of course, 58% form for Middlesbrough at the moment. They are 22nd with 5 points on the board. Meanwhile, Valorant Ishmael are on 33% form. They are 16th with 9 points on the board. And of course, just 1 defeat, though, in the last 4, but not good form heading into this one. Last time around, over at Vicarage Road, it was a 2-1 win for Watford, who made back-to-back wins over Middlesbrough at Vicarage Road, unbeaten in the last 3 attempts, of course, and conceding just the 1 goal against Borough over the last 3. Of course, this week, none of them are in cup action. Both of them looking forward to this game, I am sure. The odds here, 13-10 is your Watford, 9-4 is a draw, 2-1 is your away win here. Back in Watford, a bounce back here, 2-win for them, put a bit more pressure on Carrick, and of course, maybe enforce him out the bloody door. Next up, we have Huddersfield Town against Ipswich. Of course, Huddersfield looking for a new manager bounce under Darren Moore, picked up a massive point against Coventry most recently, but they go to John Smith Stadium taking on Ipswich, who are red hot. 20 times they played each other since 1995. We've got 7 wins apiece and 6 draws, of course. Biggest win for Huddersfield, 2-0 win, scored 27 goals in those 20 matches. That's 1.35 goals a game. Ipswich, of course, 5-1 win, their biggest, 29 goals scored in the 20 matches. That's 1.45 goals a game. 100% success rate for Ipswich right now, second in the table, 21 points on the board, up against Huddersfield, who are just one defeat in the last 6, 58% form, and have climbed up to the point of 17th in the table with 9 points on the board. Last round, though, over the John Smiths, it was a 2-0 win for Huddersfield. That's back in January 2017, of course. Ipswich fresh off the back of a 3-2 win over Wolves. That's Premier League Wolves in the Carabao Cup, of course, to go through to the next round. They're looking forward to this game, but the odds here coming at you are 3-1 as your Huddersfield, 5-2 as draw, 2017 on is, of course, your Ipswich, our favourite here. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, though, points apiece, split down the middle. Darren Moore and his home debut. He'll want to get something out of this. I think you'll get the draw as well. Hull City up against Plymouth Argyle. Plymouth Argyle are deadly when at home, and of course, but they're like kittens when, of course, they're on the road, but they take on Hull City at the MKM Stadium this coming weekend. Played each other 9 times in 2005. We've got 4 wins for Plymouth. We've got 5 wins for Hull, and we've got 0 draws. Biggest win for Hull, 3-0 win, scoring 12 goals in the 9 games. That's 1.33 goals a game. Meanwhile, Plymouth's biggest victory over Hull was a 3-2 win. They scored just 9 goals in the 9 games. That's 1 goal a game average. Meanwhile, Plymouth Argyle, 2 wins of the last 4 games, 33% form for them. They are 12th in the table with 10 points on the board. Hull are flying high up to 4th at the minute with 15 points on the board. Unbeaten in the last 6 games, winning 3 and drawing 3 over the last 6. Last time around at the MKM Stadium was a 1-0 win for Hull. That's back in October 2020. They won 3 in the spin, haven't conceded a goal against them in the last 3 matches. Goodness gracious me. Of course, both sides are out of the cup, so all eyes on this. 11-10 on as your Hull for this one, 12-5 as draw, 60-5 as your away win. Hull City at home should be a no-brainer, 2-1 win for them. And of course, Plymouth will take the L on this one. Meanwhile, Norwich looking to bounce back after the 6-2 humping by said Plymouth. Of course, these two sides have played each other 35 times since 1995. 16 wins for Norwich, 10 wins for Birmingham, 9 draws, of course. Biggest wins for Norwich was a 3-1 win, scoring 51 goals in those 35 matches, 1.46 goals a game. Birmingham on the flip side, 4-0 win, their biggest, 46 goals scored in the last 35 games. That's 1.31 goals a game. The Brummies are just 1 win and 6 of them, 33% form. They've dropped to 10th right now with 12 points on the board. Meanwhile, Norwich, of course, 50% form for them, won 3 and lost 3 over the last 6. They're in 8th with 13 points on the board. However, 3 defeats at the last 4 is not good form right now. Of course, last time round at Carrow Road, it was a 3-1 win for Norwich, who have won at least the last 4 against Birmingham at Carrow Road. Of course, Norwich are up in the cup this week against Fulham. Of course, tricky game. They're expected to lose that match, but the odds for this one, we have 11-10 on you. Norwich probably favoured here. 5-2 is draw, and 3-1 is your long shots here. We're going to go with the Canaries here. 3-1 win, bounce back after the 6-2 humping by, of course, Plymouth Argyle. That's right. Preston off up against West Bromwich Albion. Of course, Preston's journey to the top has taken a bit of a stumble right here, of course, from the draw on the weekend. But now they're taking, of course, West Bromwich Albion at Deepdale. Played each other 21 times since the year 2000. 7 wins for Preston, 12 wins for West Brom, and 2 draws. Biggest win for West Brom, 3-0 win. Scored 21 goals in the 21 games. That's, of course, 1 game average. On the flip side, West Brom, biggest win for them, 4-1 win, scoring 32 goals in the 21 games. That's 1.52 goals a game. Now, the Baggies are in 13th for the table with 10 points on the board. Of course, just 1 defeat at the past 6 games for West Brom. Of course, 50% form for them. Up against 92% form, Preston off end. 5 wins the last 6. Last time around was a draw, though, against Rotherham. 3rd in the table, 20 points on the board. And, of course, last time around at Deepdale was a 1-0 win for Preston back in October 2022. They've only won once. The last 3 matches at Deepdale have Preston when taking on West Bromwich Albion. Of course, in the Cup, none of them are in the Cup no more. Quick look at the odds for this one. 13-10 is your Preston, 12-5 is your draw, and 2-1 is your West Brom. Back in, of course, the Baggies to win this one. 2-1 win. Did I go 2-1 win? I think I went 2-1 win. Anyway, I'm going against the grain on that one, of course. QPR up against Coventry City at Loftus Road. That's right. These two sides played each other 26 times since 1993. We've got 11 wins for QPR. We've got 10 wins for Coventry. We've got 5 draws, of course. Biggest win for QPR, 5-1 win, scoring 34 goals in those 26 matches, 1.31 goals a game. Up against Coventry, though, 3-0 win, their biggest, 29 goals scored in 26 matches, 1.12 goals a game, of course. Coventry, 42% form for them right now without a win in the last 6 games. Of course, 5 draws, though, of the last 6. They're draw specialists, 18 points, 18th in the table, 6 points on the board. QPR on the flip side, 19th in the table, 8 points on the board. Of course, 33% form for them, just 1 defeat, though, in the past 4 matches. Coming at you, though, last time around at Loftus Road, it was a 3-0 win for Coventry. That was back in April 2023. Coventry did the double over QPR and back-to-back clean sheets against them. Of course, the odds for this one, we have 2-1 is your Coventry, and 9-4 is the draw, 7-5 is your away win. Going to go with the 1-0 win myself for QPR. The shocker there on my lips. Is it on yours? Well, let me know down below. Next up, of course, we have Sheffield Wednesday up against Sunderland, of course, coming at you. That's actually on Friday night. All eyes on this one then, shall we? Of course, played each other 14 times in 1986. We've got 5 wins for Wednesday, 6 wins for Sunderland, and we've got 3 draws, of course. Biggest win for Sheffield Wednesday, 3-0 win, scoring 17 goals in 14 matches, 1.21 goals a game up against Sunderland, of course. Biggest win for them, 5-0 win, scoring 19 goals in 14 matches, 1.36 goals a game, of course. That's right, Sunderland, 75% form for them right now, of course. 3 wins the last 5 games, 5th in the table, 13 points on the board. Up against Wednesday, 17% form for them. They, of course, just picked up a couple of points in the last 6. They are 24th in the table, and they are rooted with just the 2 points, of course. Last time around, though, over at Hillsborough, it was a 2-0 win for Wednesday. That was back in August 2022. That was, of course, the EFL Cup. Prior to that, last time around at Wednesday, it was a 1-1 draw. That was back in May 2022. It was the League One playoffs, of course. Goodness gracious me. But both sides are out of the cup. All eyes on this one. Friday night, 21-10 is your Sheffield Wednesday. 23-10 is the draw. 5-4 is your Sunderland. They are favoured here. Going to go with a 2-1 win for Sunderland on this one on the road. They're good away, of course. Meanwhile, Millwall up against Swansea City. That's right. Come out at the Den. That's right. All eyes, not on this one, but all eyes on all of these. Played each other 17 times. 2006, we got 4 wins for Millwall. We got 8 wins for Swansea. We've got 5 draws, of course. Biggest win for Millwall, 2-0 win, scoring 17 goals in 17 matches as a goal a game. Swansea on the flip side, biggest win for them, 3-0 win, scoring 24 goals in the 17 matches, 1.41 goals a game as well. Back-to-back games now for Swansea without a loss. 21st in the table, those 6 points on the board. Up against Millwall, 50% form for them. 1-2 lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6. Just 1 defeat though in the last 5. In 11th with 11 points at the minute. Last time around though, for Millwall, was 2-1 win for Millwall. That was at the Den back in March 2023. Of course, looking at the odds for this one, we have 23-20 is your Millwall, 9-4 is draw, 12-5 is the draw. Is the away win here. Going to go with, of course, a victory for the Den. Of course, the Millwall boys coming on top with a 1-0 win, take the 3 points, put more pressure on Duffers. And then we're left with a cherry on top. It is Rovers. It is Leicester City. It's at Ewood Park, of course, coming at you on Sunday, October the 1st. That's right. It's Halloween countdown starts now. Played each other 18 times in 1994. We've got 7 wins for Rovers, 5 wins for Leicester, 6 draws, of course. Biggest win for Rovers, 3-0 win, scoring 23 goals in the 18 matches, 1.28 goals a game. Up against Leicester, though, their biggest win for them over us, 3-0 win it was. 22 goals scored in the 18 matches, 1.22 goals a game. 5 wins of the last 6 for Leicester, of course. 83% form for them. They are top of the table, 21 points on the board. Up against Rovers, who are 14th in the table, 10 points on the board. 50% form for them. Just 1 win in 4. Not great time to be playing us. Well, a good time for them to be playing us, but not really us to be playing them, if you know what I mean. Last time around, though, over at Ewood Park, it was a 1-1 draw back in March 2014. Over the last match that these two sides played was in the FA Cup last season, and who came out on top? Oh, yeah. Let's hope for a bit of a repeat on that. Of course, both sides are in action in the Cup. Rovers taking on Cardiff. Leicester taking on Liverpool. Rovers expected to squeak past them, maybe, should I say, against Cardiff. Liverpool are supposed to do tonk poor Leicester in the Cup on this one. 12-5 is your Rovers, 21-20 is your Leicester. They are favoured here. 5-2 is the draw. But not me, boys. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Rovers to take it to the house. That, my friends, is my picks. That's, of course, the link to the Super Brew. And that's, of course, all my games for you in all their glory. A couple of little shockers in there, I know. But if I am right, this is what the table will look like. Ipswich Town leading the charge, of course. 22 points on the board with Leicester in second spot. Then Preston, Hull, Sunderland and Norwich. Rovers moves up to 12th. Rotherham, Middlesbrough and Wednesday going down, of course. That's, of course, my own picks. Let me know your picks down below. Of course, get them in the Super Brew. But, of course, make sure you drop a comment. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure, of course, you subscribe. We'll be back for a double match week next week. Of course, non-stop stuff at the Championship. And, of course, I'll be there all the way through to the bitter end. Until then, I'll see you soon.